Have you ever stayed awake at night, thinking about past decisions and wishing you could have done things differently? Or maybe you catch yourself again and again holding back from taking action today because you're afraid of regrets tomorrow. If you've ever felt the weight of regret, you're not alone, and this video is for you. Let's start by understanding what regret really is and why it happens. Regret is that uncomfortable feeling you get when you wish you'd made a different choice. It's pretty common. Almost everyone has at least one thing they wish they'd done differently. Sometimes it's a missed opportunity. Other times, it's something we did that didn't turn out the way we wanted. But here's the thing. Regret can affect how we feel about ourselves and how we see the world. It can get in the way of us moving forward. But today, I want to show you that there are ways to move past regret and even avoid it with a few simple mindset shifts and small actions. Formula 1. Learning from past regrets without getting stuck in them. To start, let's talk about how to reflect on regrets in a helpful way. The goal here isn't to beat yourself up about what you could have done. It's actually the opposite. We're learning from it. Try this. Think about a regret you have. Write it down. Then, instead of focusing on what you could have done differently, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Often, regrets highlight what's important to us. Maybe you realized you value honesty after regretting a time you weren't fully truthful. Or maybe you found that spending time with family matters more to you than work after missing a special occasion. By finding the lesson in each regret, you're using it to help guide you in future decisions. Formula 2. Shifting your mindset. Adopting a growth perspective. The next step is to change the way we see regrets and mistakes in general. Instead of thinking, I shouldn't have done that, try to see every decision as part of your growth. This is called a growth mindset, and it's a powerful way to look at life. People with a growth mindset believe that mistakes help us improve and learn. Every experience, whether it was a success or a setback, teaches us something valuable. This means that even if you've made a choice that led to regret, it's not the end. It's part of your growth story. One way to practice a growth mindset is by adopting the idea of win or learn. If things go well, great, you've won. But if things don't turn out as planned, you don't lose. You learn. This mindset can help reduce regret because instead of feeling like you failed, you can see every experience as a chance to grow. Formula 3. Making decisions to avoid future regrets. Now that we've covered how to deal with past regrets, let's look at how to make decisions now that reduce regrets in the future. We can't predict everything, but there are questions you can ask yourself that help guide you. One question is, will I regret not trying this? Sometimes the biggest regrets are the chances we didn't take. By asking this question, you can identify if something is worth a shot. Another helpful question is, how will I feel about this decision in 5 or 10 years? This is especially useful for big choices, like career changes or moves. When you think about a decision in the long term, it often brings clarity. And finally, think about your values. Choices that align with your core values, whether that's family, health, or creativity, are more likely to lead to fulfillment and fewer regrets. If a decision feels right based on what's important to you, it's probably a choice you won't regret down the line. Formula 4. Living in the present to minimize regret. An important part of reducing regret is learning to live in the present. It's easy to get so caught up in planning or worrying about the future that we forget to focus on what's happening right now. Being present or practicing mindfulness can help with this. When you're truly in the moment, you're making choices that reflect your genuine thoughts and feelings, not just acting on autopilot. This can prevent the "why didn't I appreciate that moment more" kind of regret. A simple mindfulness practice that you can try is to set aside a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Notice the sensations, listen to your surroundings, and let go of any distractions. This kind of grounding practice can help bring you back to the present. Another great habit is doing a quick daily or weekly check-in. Ask yourself, am I doing things that I value? Am I living in line with who I want to be? These small moments of reflection can help you live in a way that feels right and reduces regret. Formula 5. Letting go of perfection and embracing. Good enough. Another way to avoid regret is to let go of the idea of perfection. So many regrets come from unrealistic expectations. Maybe we regret not being perfect in a situation, or we hesitate to make decisions because we're waiting for the perfect solution. In reality, though, aiming for perfection is exhausting, and it's often what holds us back. Sometimes good enough is actually better. When we stop expecting every choice to be flawless, we give ourselves the freedom to make decisions and move forward. One way to start letting go of perfection is to set realistic goals. Instead of expecting yourself to handle everything perfectly, aim to do your best and allow yourself some grace. Another way to practice this is to recognize when a decision is good enough instead of perfect, and then commit to it without second-guessing. Formula 6. Taking action over inaction. A big part of regret often comes from not taking action. Think about it. How many times have you regretted not doing something rather than doing it? Inaction can lead to just as much regret as making a wrong choice. If there's something you've always wanted to try or a goal you've wanted to pursue, take a small step towards it today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Instead, embrace the present and start with a single action. It could be reaching out to someone, signing up for a class, or even just writing down your plan. When you focus on moving forward rather than waiting, you're less likely to regret missed opportunities. And remember, it's the small steps over time that lead to big changes. Here's a quick recap of the ways we can all live with fewer regrets. First, reflect on your past in a constructive way, learning from your experiences without dwelling on them. Shift your mindset to focus on growth instead of perfection. When making decisions, keep your values in mind and think about how you'll feel about it in the future. Practice being present to make choices that align with who you are right now. Embrace good enough instead of waiting for perfection. And remember that action often beats inaction when it comes to avoiding regret. I hope these tips have inspired you to take charge of your life in a way that aligns with your values and reduces regret. If any of these ideas resonate with you, let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, be sure to share it with someone who might need it. Remember, it's not about making every choice perfectly. It's about making choices that reflect who you are and what you care about.